Right, hello everybody, welcome back. We're going to talk about XRP on the long term, which is obviously the sort of thing that lots of people will say just to get clicks, because I'm going to show you something which might appear to be more bullish than you'd expect, but I suppose a lot of people are always asking about what's going on with XRP. So I thought I'd show this, and hopefully this video, it's not that I want it to stand the test of time, but hopefully this will just stop all the DMs, right? So I make one video on XRP now. This should hopefully last for a few months at least, so I don't have to be answering questions all the time about XRP. So we're going to look at all time frames, all right, all of them. So just stand by. And the reason I'm talking about XRP now is because obviously you'll have seen it, that we've got Ethereum sort of, I suppose, breaking out really, and it makes it appear that we might be looking for some kind of alt rally season. Basically altcoins take the lead for a little bit, all right? Maybe it's a rotation, maybe it's not, but whatever it is, it looks like we are potentially at the beginning of, you know, something awesome, which is a bit surprising, to be honest, because I was expecting generally a consolidation to take longer than it did. It only lasted like a couple of months, which is fine, I suppose. That's fine. It makes the market appear more bullish that we only consolidate for a little bit. It does make me wonder where it's going to lead us, and you know how long it's going to take, or how short-lived it's going to be. Anyway, regardless of that, so that, you know, the fact that Ethereum's taking the lead is good, because it shifts the dominance and provides a little bit more positive sentiment, should we say, for altcoins. So there's tons of altcoins out there, so I know that someone's going to write in there, but what about the furry Elon AI Doge Master Shib coin that's just come out? It's got a market cap of 1 penny, and it's gonna, fine. I'm talking about XRP. There's going to be loads of other coins out there better than XRP, obviously. I'm just going to talk about XRP, but that's not what I'm going to talk about. So let's think about what it is that I'm going to say. So first, we're just going to start on the very, very high term timeframes, because again, it's a very old chart. So we're over here on Bitstamp. We're going to get rid of the indicators. We're literally just going to look at formation, and formation here is actually okay. What do you look at this? This is a 12 month. Each one of these represents a year's worth of price action. It's 12 months. So what do we look at when we see this chart? Looks like a bull flag, doesn't it? So basically what we have is on the 12-month chart, so by the time you finish this video, don't expect anything to happen. This is a 12-month chart, right? Each candle representing a year's worth of price action has a bull flag, all right, on the 12-month. So that's actually good, isn't it, really, if you think about it? That's a 12-month chart with a massive bull flag on it. Take it to a 6-month, still the bull flag. You can start to see some kind of relevance to support that's been mostly respected in the form of the bull flag, right? So let's take it down from the 6-month to the 3-month, and we can see that, yeah, it's still bull flag, it's still trending up, the supports are higher, which is good. This has been going on since this low down here in January 2020. Fine, that's just before the previous alt season, a year before the previous alt season, so pretty good. And look, we had a similar kind of diagonal support prior to the massive move that we had over here 2017. This is the one that, you know, I lived this one, and this was me. I bought XRP when it was about 3 cents, and it was a rough ride back then. Trust me, it was a really rough ride back when it was 3 cents, but it worked out okay. So I'm not going to say it's going to happen again, but I'm just putting it to you. We've got a very long period of uptrending support here, on the log scale. Remember, we're on the log scale, so we've established that there's a bull flag, and we've got a similar kind of read to how it was before 2017. So it's not bad when you put it into that perspective, which is why I always say, you know, XRP can be good. It can be good to trade it, because it does often respond to signals on the short-term time frames. And I know there's a lot of people out there hodling XRP, me included, right? I got loads of XRP, tons and tons of it. But yeah, it's tough, isn't it, really? And again, what do we always say? Envy is the thief of joy, right? When you're looking around, you're seeing all these other coins moving, and XRP basically does nothing. But I strongly believe, based on what I see, not because of, you know, some crooked belief system that one day you know, the hodl will be rewarded regardless of what I see. But based on what I see, you know, it will likely do another big move again at some point. You know, we're thinking, you know, let's just face it, we're thinking probably previous all-time highs, and maybe a little bit more. You know, there's no point in looking at this on a log scale and assuming that it's going to go to $70 because you do a measured move, or you do something crazy like, you know, like do a fractal on it or something like that. Well, this fractal, because I know that that's what people like to do. We're not going to do that. But what we're looking at is structure. And structurally, it is a bull flag, which suggests it's going to push up again one day. We're currently sitting at 52 cents, right? You know, a measured move of something like this would take it, you know, into the teens, you know, potentially, you know, probably roughly, you know, 14 or whatever. I'm not going to say that that's definitely going to happen, but it would appear that that's what XRP wants to do, move into the teens at some point on the higher term time frames. That's what it looks like he wants to do. It's hard to hear that for people who either love it or hate it, because you're going to be sitting around going, well, should I keep it? Should I keep it in the end? He says it might go to 14. I say, yeah, it might go to 14, it might not. Who the hell even knows? But it would appear that that is maybe a top target, that XRP will reach into the teens. And trust me, if it does go there, unless there's some massive fundamental change to the way that the supply works, probably won't stay there. And someone's going to go, well, what about the market cap? Won't the market cap be too high? Well, I mean, it'll be high for a bit, and then it'll be low again. Don't worry about that. So let's think about XRP on the shorter term time frames. We'll take ourselves over here. So we'll start with a 4 hourly. So the 4 hourly is getting support on the 50 simple, the 200 simple, which is fine. That's okay. We've got ourselves a golden cross on the simple moving averages as well. We've more or less retested it just today. So entry points, I suppose, exist on the shorter term time frames right now. They do on the shorter term time frames. Obviously, we're at the mercy of the market because this is not a bullish chart, but that's what it is. There's entry points exist right now on this chart. And look, you get a bounce on something like this, you'd expect a V-shaped recovery to the last local high, which is around about the 56 cents. That 56 cents on the daily is the 200 exponential moving average, where we got rejected from here as well. So this is actually the opposite of golden cross. This is a death cross. And so you'd expect to see a resistance around there, which again, 56 cents, give or take. Now, if we look a little closer on the daily, we're also above the 20, the 21, and the 10 exponential moving average. So it's getting places. It's trying. It's having a go to lift itself up from here. And again, it adds more weight to the idea that we will push into that 56 cents again. And if we break that, we've got the 58 cents, which is a 200 simple moving average. And again, at that point, you're like, well, where do we go from here? You know, do we get rejected from here? You should expect a rejection from here and here. But once we break, if we break, you know, things will start to look good. But right now, this is still a bearish chart, really, until these areas are broken. So entry points exist now, but hopium doesn't exist until we've got above these areas. 58 cents really, probably towards 60. But I know this all sounds really impossible that this sort of thing could happen to XRP, but it's not impossible. These things happen. It will happen at some point. We've established the 12-month, the 6-month, the 3-month, actually really quite sweet, to be fair, all looking quite good. It's only the shorter term time frames that make it difficult to hold on to it, and especially when you're looking around at all these other coins that are going to be mooning left, right, and center. So anyway, that is true. That exists. Let's have a look at the intermediate time frame. So a 12 hourly. Again, the 12 hourly is above the 21 exponential here. We've got a pump signal as well that exists still on the 12 hourly. That pump signal is generated by the Ichimoku cloud. So for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I've got playlists on how to use the cloud. Two main ways, a pump signal and a trend signal. So this is a pump signal. We have one portion of the cloud. The leading portion is green. We've got a conversion baseline cross, which is when the blue crosses the red. I know it's hard to see, but it exists down there. The price action had closed above the cloud. We need to get back above the cloud again. And the cheeky span closes above the cloud. So we already had the pump signal. It's not pumped yet. but I'll be looking for it to actually pump. We've got 54.5, and then we've got 56, and then again, 56 to 57. So it's all around this area. We've got lots and lots of resistance around this area on all time frames. Now, if you go back to the weekly, I don't know if actually we've seen the weekly yet, but if we have a look at the weekly, what we see is, again, highlighting that 56-cent zone, just a little lower than that, the 20 weekly. So a big sort of line in the sand for weekly continuation. But look at the support. Where's the support coming from? The 200 exponential. This is a golden cross on the weekly. So, well, I suppose a golden cross we've only ever been. Oh no, we did have a golden cross back here. So what I'm trying to put across here is that the shorter term time frames are tricky, right? To try and go long on something like this, to apply futures, derivatives on this, is going to be tricky. But for spot, I think it's reasonable to assume that this is an okay entry for what could be a longer term position, whether it's a few months to maybe a year or so, in the event that the higher term time frames get the opportunity to play out that big, huge yearly bull flag, which is that's what we're looking at. So yeah, this is the sort of this is the perfect video for clickbait, really, because the end result requires obviously a fair bit of time, and this is what you'll see. And I'm sorry you're used to this on YouTube, because I don't watch much YouTube, but I do see it sometimes. There's unsubstantiated, ridiculous claims of, this coin will do 100x. Oh, I'll click that. I'm up for that. Okay, well, what's that based on? Just my thoughts, that's all. So this isn't based around thoughts. This is based around the technicals, the chart, the formation on the higher term time frames. It's based around that. And so we would be looking for this to break out and go into the teens. So, somewhere around, I reckon around $14 or so. Because that's quite a modest response to such a long, a long formation like that. But again, based on the short-term time frames, it's going to be really hard to get the perfect entry. But if you're talking risk to reward, which is what you should always think about, what's the risk on XRP? The risk, realistically, is that it comes back down to where it started from, into the 30s. So we'll measure it down to the lowest wick down here, and that's down below 30s, at 28.5 cents. So that's a retrace, or a pullback, or a crash, or a dump, whichever way you want to describe it, of around 45%. If we extend our charts all the way up to the teens, obviously, I mean, it's going to be difficult, but roughly speaking, what we're looking at is the returns of 1,800% on the higher term time frame. So that is good risk to reward from a spot position. Now, I know that the SEC don't like them, and neither does anyone else for that matter. But you have to try and put these things to the side. You literally have to try and forget about those sort of things. Those things that you could class them as FUD. You could call it whatever you want, but let's just focus on what we see here. If you're going to trade, you trade based on technicals. The technicals suggest a big breakout at some point later on down the line. So it's completely your call whether you decide to get rid of your XRP. I could understand why you would. There's loads of charts that we trade here all the time. That pop all over the place, so you wouldn't want to go all in on this one and sit back and wait for hopefully it hit to $14, but it could. This is what I'm trying to say. It could. I think it's realistic to recognize that other altcoins will probably move first, but if and when XRP moves, which I think it will do, it's going to go bonkers. It will go crazy. And we've got so many sell walls on XRP in these areas, all the way up to like $1.20 or thereabouts, maybe even a little higher towards $2, $3.50. But once it breaks there, if it goes back up to its previous all-time high, $3.50 or thereabouts, and it breaks there, you will see it double and then double and then double, and then before you know it, you're at $14. That's where you're at. You might be high, you might be low, but it doesn't take much really for those sort of things to happen. Let's just think about it realistically. Okay, we get back up to our previous all-time high or thereabouts, $3. We double at $6, double again, $12, double again. Well, that's in the 20s, isn't it? Sell walls are what matter, not market caps. You know, sell walls are what matter, and XRP is littered with sell walls. That's what it's famous for. No, it's a derivatives dream. You know, people will short this just as much as they will long it. You know, it's crazy, but you have to think about it in terms of that. You've got so much resistance above us on these shorter term time frames, but the higher term time frames suggest something completely different, which is that it will pump super hard at some point, and the top targets are going to be in the teens. Right, that should hopefully be it for now. I imagine after this video I'll probably get more DMs than I got previously. But if you want to join the Patreon, links in the description below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And yeah, like it, send a comment, whatever. I need to boast the algorithm somehow, because it doesn't, you know, I just can't compete with Moon Boys. I just can't compete with them. So I've got to find something that has a realistic chance of, you know, mooning based on what we see to even put it out there. And hopefully this video is the best of both worlds. It's realistic. It's also crazy, you know, it's sensational, but it's true. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.